So we're now into episode 30 of this privateer campaign with the crew.
31.
I will take the correction. Or the deception. Either or. YouTube will know.
Technically, it's 31, but also 30 because 12 is missing.
Mm.
Mm.
Shh.
Carry on.
We shall pick up where we last left off, where you, as the crew, had successfully negotiated the sale of one of the captured ships, gone to the markets to purchase some goods to hopefully sell in your new destination, and in general had caused a little bit more havoc before preparing to depart. Silas had discovered the location that Alara had left for him as where she was at least heading off to, and it seems to, at least for the moment, coincide with where you need to go for other reasons as well, or at least for some of you. The twins, Jareth and I believe it is Gareth, but I will just quickly double check that myself because they normally just go by the twins. Gerard and Jareth, because I like making my life hard. They had been recruiting a crew while you had been away from ship, and have at least got the vessel up to full numbers. The vessel, in the meantime, has also been largely repaired by the local shipwrights, and to all intents and purposes is once more fighting fit.
Woo!
So we will pick up, I would say, first thing in the morning.
Didn't we stop at the captain's address last time?
Oh, you're making a big speech here, aren't you?
Oh, that's right,
Yeah.
we had. Thank you for the reminder. You had instead actually called everyone up on deck.
Yeah. We were gonna have a speech and then set sail, I think.
Yep.
Mhm.
Or perhaps crack open a tankard if you're not doing that on the journey. But yes, you had indeed had the captain call you all up for a speech, and the captain himself had prepared something to address you all with.
Speech, 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 speech,
So-
speech, speech.
I will say that most of you have gathered up on deck, and the stragglers have made their way on board. The new crew are all standing patiently, looking up towards the helm, where at least the twins and some of the rest of you have probably already began together.
I'm not sure how patient Mug is.
So Silas basically immediately pipes up as he notices that last of the crew file in. And he instantly starts with this big showman voice. And it starts, tonight we set sail. Preparations are underway. Goods are loaded in the ship. We're ready to hunt some Shayak bastards. But first, I think it's time that we leave a message for the captain. So I have for the Commodore, of course. So I bought this fancy hat on behalf of our crew as a sort of thank you for our ship. We're gonna leave that there, and then we set sail for our own treasure and glory. Anyone ready for Fourth Hearth, for riches, for freedom? and he just holds one pistol in the air and fires it once.
Yeah, and for drinks.
Of course, Mug.
Of-
Tonight,
Verity kind of like reacts to the shots in like the kind of like panic motion, but like manages to like not fall down or anything, but clearly has like a visceral reaction to the shot.
Yeah, let's drink so we can fight better.
A group of the crew cheer at that.
tonight we leave port, and on our first night, we party. And then he just puts back his pistol. He jumps up once, and then he throws his hat with like the feather into the air.
Everyone
catch him.
cheers.
He like readies the ship, and then he looks around. It's time. Everyone positions to the skies. And he just points up.
Haldir just yells out, "You heard the captain! Get moving so we can party later! Quicker we get up, the faster we can party!"
So
let's drink.
the crew will leap into action. A lot of them are cheering. You notice that one of them is staring up above where Silas was standing,
Oh god.
with just this look of, "Oh, really?" So Silas, you did shoot directly upwards into the balloon, and this poor bastard's noticed he's got to go and do a repair.
Your second point is on me as well.
He looks at you and just gives this like thankful nod, and then starts climbing the rigging.
With that, I'm gonna head to the side of the ship.
Oh
Quickly before we leave the dock.
Yep.
And I'm gonna like get the box ready with the Commodore's hat.
Yep.
And I'll just get the dockmaster, who's probably here because the ship sails out.
Yep. So the people on docks are aware that the ship is getting prepared to leave. There are dock crew sort of sitting and waiting, and some of them look a bit startled that there was a shot, but they're seeing the crew calling out to them. They're now starting to unlash the ship, and the officials are standing there taking final notes. One of them shouts up to you when they see you approach the rails and say, "You're all set and all paid up, Captain. Good voyage."
Thank you. We'll get some shy of bastards on the way. And with that, he just looks at them and goes, "When the Silas comes in with Captain Bhajiri, can you hand him this?" And he tosses the box towards them.
He catches it and he gives a nod and says, "Of course, we'll just leave it at the mailroom. It'll be delivered
Sounds
as
good.
soon as the ship's in port." And he hands it off to what looks like a junior official, who scurries it back down the docks towards a shack that appears to be the central hub for the officials.
Okay, so in the box is a Commodore head with a massive purple feather.
Yep.
Like the typical over-the-top pirate Commodore kind of hat.
Yep.
And also a note saying where we're going.
Yep.
And there's 50 gold pieces.
Noted.
I'll note down as well.
Yep. So as you now start to pull away from the docks, the crew rush about. Some of them have rushed below decks with the engine room and started to get that cranking. The twins have taken their position up temporarily until told otherwise at the helm, and are edging the ship out onto the water, ready for a takeoff up into the air.
Silas starts doing some prep work around the cannons to just make sure that they're attached like that they're locked properly, all that kind of stuff.
Yep. So you'll notice that some of the crew, especially those that have so far been trained as cannoneers, are also double checking and triple checking the lashings to make sure nothing goes overboard unintentionally. You do note that you are still missing 2 cannons, that you haven't managed to replace them.
Is it one on either side? Or is
They're
it two on
both
the same side?
2 on the same side.
In that case, I'm going to order some cannoneers to unlatch one cannon and
Yep.
get it back, get it to the other side to even it out a bit more.
Yep. They leap to work on that.
Awesome.
So, what I will say is anyone taking the helm from the twins? And if not,
I think
Ha-
Verity
how-
was told that her job was to be helm. So I think she's like on the helm trying to help and having absolutely no fucking clue what she's doing.
Haldir is also like taking probably something like a small stool with a minor map and like taking it up to the helm and making sure that it's put in place and not going to rush anywhere.
Yep.
No, Verity is basically just trying to learn. And
Yeah. So one of the twins notices you hovering around and says, "Anything we can help you with?"
were the twins at the meeting? Like the
Yeah.
the meeting where I was designated helm person?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So she'll be well, in the meeting they said I should take the helm, but I don't know how. So I figured I'd watch.
He nods, says, "You learn faster by doing."
Fuck.
And so,
Like actual first reaction is saying something in I assume they probably don't speak orc, but there comes a phrase that they probably don't understand.
they blink. One of them sort of cocks his head as if he's trying to recall something, and he's like, "Haven't heard something like that." He looks into the other twin and goes, "How long ago was that? 7 years? 8 years we ran with them?" The other shrugs and then just looks back and says, "You might want to try that again in a language we might understand."
That's fine, but wait, do you speak? And she'll like actually try to talk normally in orc, which sounds really weird coming from her, but you know.
The one that cocked his head sort of listens, sort of nods occasionally at the odd word and says, "Can't even say enough of it to get by and ask for a pint, but sounds like orcish to me."
She looks kind of surprised, and she'll nod and be like, "You're not wrong. Didn't think I'd come across anyone who'd come across it. I guess not a lot of orcs out here, as far as I've seen."
The second you say that, he pisses himself laughing and says, "Oh boy, you're going to get a rude shock when we get to Fort Harthen."
Oh, are there many there? It's a
They give each other a look and just grin at you and say,
oh no.
"More than you can count."
Well, it might be more like home then. It's okay. How do I do this? And she'll like.
So one of them steps back and lets go of the wheel. It's a giant wooden wheel affixed
Yeah.
to the helm. that steers the rudders. The
It's like
he
a little
basic
squeak as she like steps forward to try to take hold of it.
yeah.
Just dragged to the side.
It's like, this is fine. It's fine.
The other one keeps his hands on the wheel just to make sure
Okay.
that the heading stays as is.
Haldir is also just standing there, currently observating.
Fuck you.
So the one that stepped back will tap a compass that's strapped to basically the railing just to the right of the wheel, and he shows that its heading is currently facing to the southeast. And he says, we run our heading off this, at best, at worst, by sight.
Right.
This wheel here steers those, and he points out to just behind the helm, sort of off the back of the ship, there are basically wing-like rudders that can be, the tips of which can be just seen, almost parallel to the side of the ship, and they turn like the twin holding the other side gives it a wiggle, so you can, if you glance as you point, you'll see them wiggle a bit. When we're up in the air, those are what turns the back end of the ship.
Right.
While we're on the water, there's the other side of those that are already submerged right now.
This paper here, I've charted the course for you.
Right.
Haldir says with a smile.
He glances
mean-
back and grins and goes, excellent. I hated doing that part.
Verity is smart. So she probably like intellectually she understands what they're saying. Whether or not she can actually implement that is
Yep. So
yeah.
the other twin is going to basically start filling in where his brother is left off. And he sort of taps each of the individual handholds on the wheel and says, every one of these is about 5 degrees on the rudder. So the more you turn it, the faster this thing will spin about. It won't spin on a penny, but it will get fairly close if you give it a good hard spin to the side.
That makes sense. And she'll like actually reply with, okay, so this works with this, and she'll like make an explanation of how she thinks the gears might be working for that to work, which is probably not like at least super far away from how it actually works. Just Olea has no idea how any of this works, so
You see him thinking for a long bit because he's not as familiar with how the actual engineering on a ship works. But he sort of nods and goes, makes about as much sense as what I've ever been told.
Yep.
And Silas, yes, the general repairs are usually done by the crew.
Okay. Silas might just like pick up a hammer and some nails and start helping as well.
Yep. By and large, most of the damage that was picked up in combat has already been repaired by the shipwrights.
True. We paid for these repairs.
Yep.
If they need repairs now, we're gonna get back there angrily.
Because it's a working vessel, there's always at least something that needs to be done, so there'll still be crew working around and just keeping everything in order, but
it's not as much repairs as much as it is maintenance. I guess.
It's more maintenance rather than dealing with battle damage.
In that case, Silas will just help with some general maintenance around the ship.
Yep. So, can I get Verity to roll a...
Do absolutely nothing because she's perfect and knows what she's doing. Yes.
So, first roll of the night, and I've got to double check what it is because we haven't done one of these in absolute forever.
Please tell me it's intelligence or accuracy.
Ah,
It might be okay.
It,
I'm gonna.
In the meantime, I will also get an intelligence navigation from Haldir just to see how well he's plotted his course.
I believe
Like watch him fail now, and it
last
all be
time
blamed on me.
I rolled and we were saying it would take 9 days.
Oh, right, yes, sorry, we did that
Oh.
right at the end of last session. So that is already covered.
So I have indeed charted a course already.
Yep, you have indeed. I have
Fine.
lost the focus. Sorry.
I was minorly hoping you would absolutely fail, just because then I could blame you instead. But
Nope, I cut off like 5 days from this trip.
So dexterity.
Oh fuck.
Yeah.
Just dexterity.
Yeah, just dexterity for now. Since
Damn
I've
it.
misplaced the actual.
I mean, I assume riding wouldn't help, so...
No, there's a sailing one, and I can't remember what the actual.
Right. That's a 15 with 4 stunt points.
Yeah, it's plenty good enough for a straight up takeoff. So,
I did it! I did it! Did you see? I did it!
The Pitaya slowly starts to pick up speed and drifts up into the air, and it's not a perfectly smooth takeoff, but it is a decent one. By the time you realize you're up in the air, it's probably about this point you realize that the other twin's actually already let go, and he's just been standing watching you.
I did it! Did you see that? I did it!
He grins and goes, "Yes, you did." And as far as takeoffs go, that is more than acceptable. And he looks at his brother and goes, "I think we can leave this in safe hands for now."
Wait, are you leaving me?
I'll be right here with you, Verity.
Oh, do you need any help? Because I don't know what I'm doing. There are no other ships to attack right now.
As they step down onto the deck, the twins look at you, Mug, and go, "Well, there's two things that we could get you to do right now. One of them is to get one of those barrels on deck, and the other one is some of these crew are going to need to learn how to fight."
Yes, I can do both at once. Let's do both.
You don't want to lose the booze. You might not be the most popular
okay.
dwarf on ship.
Oh no, I can beat them up with the barrel.
Well, you can beat them up when you're done emptying the barrel and having a party, Mug.
Right, I will drink the barrel and then beat everyone up.
We're gonna have any crew after this.
Haldir just sighs. And then he takes out his flute and starts playing.
So
But
you,
Mug is going to go and get the barrel.
yep, you rise up into the air, and the sun is starting to set, but it's not quite dipping below the horizon yet. Some of the crew are already prepping up lanterns to give light on the deck for when the sun actually does go down. Some of the others are based on the twins' orders, bringing up training weapons to begin actually learning how to defend themselves and the ship should they actually get into combat. At least while there's some light still. So Silas and Whisp, is there anything you guys are up to?
I've just been unwinding Thatos in the kitchen, sterilizing things, prepping things for my surgery kit and all that kind of stuff. So
Yep. So you will probably have found yourself a place in the ship to actually set up as an official surgery if needed, and have been putting stuff away where it can be found.
cool.
And sailing is indeed a dexterity focus.
Ah, excellent, thank you. I'd have bumped it up and down if it was the wrong one, but I was sort of...
Silas,
I mean, I rolled pretty well.
Yeah, it was a decent roll.
I mean, yeah, just like my dice were good. It's not because I have high dexterity or...
All good. So,
Silas is probably still working on his like crossbow rifle thing,
yep. So
which is pretty much a fold-out crossbow.
you can spend some time on that. The twins are going to busy themselves about training the crew until the light starts to get too bad for it to be safe, and then they will
Ooh, yeah.
pack everything up on deck.
Silas might also take some time to help with the training for cannoneers and such.
Yep.
Haldir has just found himself a place to sit, probably like on the rail or something like that, to keep an eye on.
You are not leaving me alone.
Keeping
No,
keeping
you
it.
said you would be here.
Yeah. There's also a rail up by.
Yep.
the-
There's a railing that
But-
splits the upper deck from
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
standard deck.
so Haldir is now sitting on it, playing music, keeping an eye on Verity, how she's keeping the course and how the weather is going, while tunes just
probably-
flow from the flute.
Like, start humming along and probably ask you if you know songs that you absolutely do not know.
Yeah. It's mostly like party songs and drinking songs, and there are some shanties in there as well.
Silas will probably sing along to most of the shanties, and especially the pirate shanties and such, and drinking songs as well, of course.
And
The
then
drinking
Verity will
songs,
probably...
Haldir is probably saving for when the drink actually comes out.
So it won't take Mug super long to get the barrel up on deck. And once it's there, the crew are definitely aware it's there. And you notice that some of them are hurrying about their business to get ready for just partying and hopefully passing out.
We'll get them nice and hungover for tomorrow morning.
Oh yes, so Mug is rolling down the barrel. Here is the booze, everyone. Now let's fight to see who gets to drink first.
Silas just looks at the twins and goes, "Good luck, guys."
They grin and crack their knuckles and go, "Sure, Mug."
Glenn,
It's a free for all.
So?
Quick logistics question.
Yep.
How do we drink from these massive kegs? Do they have like a little tap? Or is it one of those where you just pop the lid and pull your tankard in?
Mug is not thinking about that.
I would say it's one where you'd have to pop the lid and dip the tankards in.
Okay.
Logistics.
I mean,
Good luck with the fight, Mug.
there is a spot where you could potentially enter a tap, but they're not sort of pre-tapped.
You'd need to have a tap.
Yep.
I don't happen to have a tap, do I?
There might be a tap somewhere in the hall, but Mark definitely didn't bring it.
The only tap
Yeah.
that you're aware of, Silas, is the one that's currently on your small keg that is also potentially contaminated with a certain type of poison.
I have two of those kegs because I cloned it before I filled it with venom, I think. With the copying machine where we copied the Silas and the mugs.
No,
Or
you
was that after I filled the keg?
after.
Ah, so I have two kegs of manticore venom and two contaminated taps.
Yep.
Oops.
Because you took the venom before you went in.
Oh yes, I took the venom from the very first manticore.
Yep.
I mean, surely you could clean it if you really wanted to.
Rolling 200 Constitution checks would be fun.
Oh, boy.
I mean, Mug wouldn't mind.
So Silas just prepares with to pop the lid from the keg once Mug gets done fighting.
Yep. So once again, the twins will shed their shirts and step into a circle, grinning and looking at you, Mug.
Oh yeah. So Mug was shouting, "It's a free for all."
The twins hear that, look at each other, and then look at the rest of the crew and go, "All yours, boys." And then step back.
Silas, in the meantime, just climbs up some rigging to sit there and just look from slightly above.
Mug versus the world.
Mug, a good solid 20 of the crew all sort of surround you. The twins are using this as an opportunity to go, help themselves to the keg.
To be fair, I pay attention to that. When they do, I'm going to yell at them.
Oh, so if we notice, then Mug is going to shout to, "Get them! They will get their booze before us."
Rightio. So what I will do is, Mug, can you roll a strength check just to see if these guys can actually pin you?
Okay, let me just go and roll. I'm sorry, I was trying to make tea. I'll be upstairs in a moment. That's a good gift.
So I search for group fight.
Oh, is this a might one?
Yep.
That's good.
This is sort of less of a standard brawl and more of a dogpile.
Do the stunt points count?
You can use the stunt points.
Enjoy.
Ooh.
This is hilarious.
That
So basically, what they've done is they've literally all piled in to try and pin you to the deck and leapt on top. And so, Silas, and from the rest of you, from your point of view, you see originally where there was Mug, there's now a pile of people on top of him. And then Mug stands up, lifting this entire group of people off the deck.
and then throw them at the twins. Right?
You can throw them.
Okay.
So what I will say is that you can use those points for skirmish and throw them. Basically, there's a pile of people.
Towards the twins.
Yep.
And meanwhile, I'm shouting, "Get them! They are trying to get the booze!
They...
Save the booze!"
The twins manage to step aside from the pile of crew that just hit the deck near the barrel. And grin and go, "Well, that makes things interesting." And then they're going to pile in on you.
Oh boy. This will be fun.
So-
They're not getting out of a good fight. Yeah, they're not getting away with it easy.
Nope. So they're both going to try and grapple you.
Oh, we're going to roll properly for this one. Or are they going against my strength roll?
Roll another strength, and it'll be contested against the two of them.
Oh, another strength?
Yep.
Okay. This is not as good. sad. It's still a mite one, isn't it?
Yeah, it's still a mite. So basically, they've sort of flanked around and tried to grab both your arms. And this time, because you're not lifting them directly upwards, and these are now 2 trained fighters rather than just the standard crew, they managed to sort of get a good hold on your arms and separate themselves to sort of keep you pinned between them, and they're grinning.
Oh, sadness.
Aw.
You won't take the booze from me.
You'll get your share, Mug, just like the rest of us.
No, I will not let you win the booze. I will take the booze for myself.
Jareth,
Yeah.
who's on your other arm, goes, "Not likely. Fair shares each."
I guess I can't get out of the hold now.
You can do. I'd say after a little bit, you can do another contested strength.
Okay, Mug is very motivated by the booze.
Was that a 111 or a 666?
Mug is very motivated by the booze. Yes, I managed to waste a 666 on this.
I mean, is it really wasted though?
Oh no, because this is very, very witnessed. So, Mug, the very thought of the fact that other people will get booze before you gives you that extra impetus. You lift both the twins up, one after the other, and hurl them. And they go skidding across the deck.
Oh my.
So, Haldir and Verity, if you're still up on the near the helm, you've literally just seen Mug bodily throw people a good solid 10 meters.
Haldir just turns to Verity like, "Do you think he went soft on us?"
Well, I haven't fought him. What do you mean?
That's true. I was the only one that fought him. Well,
All I can say is I'm not helping him this time. So
I'll get perception from everyone as well.
I take it's seeing.
Yep.
10.
Verity, you're pretty much just fixated on the fact that Mug has just thrown a pair of very well built human men a very long distance.
It's not intimidating or scary at all. It's fine.
Haldir, you notice that Silas has been handing out alcohol to people while Mug's been very distracted, so the crew have been getting drinks. There's now about 20 odd crew, then a small queue is formed up near Silas.
Mug shouting, "Give me the booze! The booze is mine!"
I'm gonna get a tanker and just walk over to Mug, who's still in the middle of fighting, but has just thrown his enemies away, and I just hand him a tankard full of booze. And I go, "Here you go.
Yes! I got the booze!
You definitely earned it. You get the best one."
and he's tugging it down, and it's like, yeah, it's being very much enjoyed.
And I guess with that, the party just kind of starts. The fighting ends with like booze.
Haldir
Yeah.
looks at Verity and like, well, do you then know this one? We all got drunk in Dublin City. Then he starts.
Verity's like question mark all over her face, being like, no.
something drunk? Probably not.
I mean, drinking songs is not exactly her forte.
No, but Haldir has been trying for a while now to figure out, like, do I know any songs she actually knows?
Just
Hasn't
playing
succeeded
random
yet.
tunes.
Probably hasn't, no. But she will, if he's willing, she will like try to teach him some songs.
He'll probably said like, I'll love to learn them later, but right now I have a whole crew that needs to
Oh
stop
yeah,
drinking and having fun.
oh yeah, she's not gonna.
I have a big audience. It's great.
Yeah, and they can't even escape.
And they will soon be drunk.
The
Very
twins
right.
pick themselves up, dust themselves off, look
I
at each
have
other,
two
look at
tankards
Mug,
as well.
take their tankards and go. Remind us to not actually pick a fight with him.
Why?
thought-
You don't like to fight with me?
Mug, we don't need a replacement cannon. We can just get you to lob cannonballs at the next ship we come across.
Yeah, I can do that.
Well, I'm not sure if you're joking or not, because it could very well be true.
One of them looks up at you, Haldir, and says, "Have you been on the receiving end of that arm?" I would not doubt that he would put a solid dent in a galleon.
I have. Luckily, only for a short while I got recruited.
Well, we can always get you into more of a fight if you want, Haldir.
Well, then we wouldn't have someone to play the music, now would we? And
True.
bring me a tankard, Silas.
I just toss him an
Surely
empty
you
tankard.
you can play music while you fight, right?
No. Just no. Just say no.
I think Haldir just tries and look very sad and shakes his head like, no.
But you're
Sadly
strong
not.
enough, right? I can train you. I can train you how to do it.
It's just not possible, sadly. I've tried before, it doesn't work that way.
Oh, you just didn't try hard enough. I can help you.
Right now, I think you should help yourself to another tankard.
I will, and you drink Haldir as well. Drink and play music at the same time. Start with that. And Muggy's trying to chug alcohol down Haldir.
Haldir at least takes takes the tankard, but definitely stops playing music.
So the crew spread out. Some of them return to at least the basic maintenance that needs to be continually done after they've had their drink. Others stay and take another drink, and you see dice and cards get cracked out.
Do we have like somewhat of a campfire place at the ship?
So on deck, the crew will typically just either pull up the occasional stool or just park themselves on deck. Some of them have made their way below decks where they'll be taking up places in the mess, so near the kitchen. And some of them will have, after directions are given out by the twins, made their way straight to their bunks.
They have morning shifts.
Yes. The twins are sort of trying to keep it at the very least so that when it comes to changing over the shifts, that there are some people sober and awake enough.
Good job. And with that, I think Silas takes another tankard and just takes a place at like the top deck, the deck where the helmets and such,
Yep.
and just go and sit there against the railing, looking out over like the town of Port Marley getting smaller and smaller.
Yep. So from the distance you are now, it
Spider-Man Miles Morales.
Ooh, in the Spider-Man game.
Yeah, Spider-Man. Maybe Spider-Man Miles Morales. Cut alleen hem.
So from the distance you are now, the city is sort of just a light on the distance as dusk and then darkness starts to settle in. Before the shape of the caldera that the city is actually built into starts to obscure even the light. Occasionally you can see, since it's a clear enough night, that there are occasional ships in the distance. You can see their lights that they're running to see on deck as they sail to and from Port Marley and other destinations.
Nice.
There's nothing quite as beautiful as a sky seen from up in it, is there?
I
The open
agree.
skies will always be the best part of the journey, I guess.
You traveled much already, Silas?
Well,
I heard a few stories.
I've been around, but not. I think this Fort Hath is probably as far south as I've gone.
Me too. What about you, Verity?
Well, Fort Hearth is about as north as I've gone.
Well,
All
and
right.
now Port Marley, of course.
Well,
Oh, if you're talking about traveling, I traveled a lot. You know, I was brought to like many places. I've been to many pits.
And where were those pits? What country?
Well, I mean, they were usually on the ground, but you know, my favorites were the ones in the temples. It was always a good fight in a temple, because these were the really tough fights.
Fights in temples.
why would you fight people
Yeah.
in temples?
Well, it was a lot of fun when Mug introduced all of us to the temple fights.
Yeah, it's like, you know, it was exciting because that's like the stuff where they don't allow fights. So when they managed to get the fights in, they got the best fighters in.
So
Right.
you have been in a pit fight in a temple.
Well,
In many temples, not just one.
Huh.
I wouldn't
But-
necessarily say there was a pit fight in the last temple we fought in, but
Oh no,
How
no.
often do you fight in temples?
Whenever I get the chance.
basically every
but
temple is
why?
very fluffy.
Because it's a good way to train your body.
I mean,
By
I
fighting
guess...
in.
I mean, I didn't get food if I didn't fight, but it was fun. Don't worry.
Well,
I
If I
mean,
was fighting well, I was
so that's
fed
kind
well.
of your chore. Your chore was to fight.
chore, you mean my job, sort of thing. You would,
Well,
Si-
kinda, yeah.
yeah, Silas, would you call it a job? Fighting
I,
in a pit?
I guess for you it was. I mean, you earned your food
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah, so that was my job, to fight in temples and in other places, in the pits.
Nowadays
Oh.
it's more of a hobby, isn't it? Because now this is your job. And he just waves towards the ship.
Well, I still fight here, so fighting is still my job.
Yeah, but
That-
now you're not a pit fighter, are you, Mark?
Well, I can still fight in a pit, as you would know, Haldir.
I'm very aware.
I imagine Haldir just like rubs his rib.
So technically, I'm still a pit fighter.
You're now more of an everywhere fighter, which is better than
Yeah.
just pits.
But when you fought in temples, what happened to the people who work there or who live there and didn't,
They
like,
were
you know,
fought.
the higher ups come and take you away?
Well, you know, I mean, I was either beating, you know, they were either getting beaten up by me or they were watching and paying to watch, you know, and you know, betting as well. That's what people do at pit fights. They bet.
But in
You
the
know, people who
temples?
have money. Of course, yeah. That's their favorite place. The crowd always went wild in a temple.
You can
Back
see
home, I need
Verity
to
not
visit some more
quite
temples.
like this does not compute.
Verity has very much a photo 4 face.
What did you say, Silas?
Verity has very much one of those error photo 4
Yes.
faces.
You do not start a fight in a temple. That is
Hey, it
suicide.
worked.
Uh,
No, it sounded suicide when you tried to fight Mug.
I mean, Mug is very strong, but there are things that would take him down, I'm sure.
We haven't
Well,
met
not
him
even
yet.
a manticore. Yeah,
Not
I
even
could
Mug
think-
could stop Mug.
Well, not everything is physical.
Oh, so you mean the magical doors that Mug encountered? Now that's an entirely different story.
Yeah, what is the thing with magical doors?
Well, you know, doors that open with magic.
Yes.
These are magical doors, right?
Yeah, okay. But
Um,
why is that a story?
This magical door also talked, right? Just out of character.
Well, the door itself didn't talk.
But Mug,
As far as
Mug
Mug is concerned. uh,
Yeah, but was it an out of character question or in character question?
that was definitely an out of character question for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think Monk can. Yeah,
No,
yeah. Okay.
Haldir is definitely confused why, and still has the question: why is the magical door a good story?
We went onto this ship and it was full of magical doors, and there was a furnace as well, and I had to throw someone into the furnace.
And all the doors were magical?
Why would you have
Yeah,
to
they
throw
kept
someone
opening.
into a furnace?
It was needed. I mean, Demon Child was otherwise going to kill us.
Demon child?
Yes, I don't know if it's quite a demon, but
I think it was the magic. No, I think it was the magical door that asked me. Oh, what was it? Did the magical door ask me to do it?
Wait. The magical door asked you something?
yes, that's what Mug
And you
kept
just
saying at least.
did it?
Yeah, it was also doors that talked, and I had a conversation. Did I have a conversation with them, or did they just tell me to do stuff? I can't
so
remember.
Silas looks at Verity, who just got very confused and like, have you never just talked to a random door and done whatever it asked?
No.
Haldir is also now looking a bit confused because
Silas
a
bursts out
magical
is-
door that talks?
I
Silas
mean,
bursts out laughing
I've
and
heard
goes,
of magical doors, but You don't. Generally, you give them orders, not the other way around.
Oh, really? Well, in any case, ever since then, if I shoot stuff, it like glows. It's really pretty.
Can I do arcane door check again?
Okay.
If you've got it.
I only have musical lore.
Although
I have military lore, but I also was there, and I'm
you can actually just roll a intelligence check at advantage, Silas, because you roughly know what the heck Mug's talking about anyway.
Yeah, that's my intelligence arcane lore.
Right. So
Oh wow.
Silas,
Nice.
you 100% know that, everything Mug is talking about is 100% due to the girl.
Oh, I 100% still hate the girl that did this.
Verity, you rack your brains of everything you've been taught, and a door talking to you, unless it's talking in like a riddle that you have to solve, is not something you've ever come across. And just by the way that Mug is talking about the fact that these doors were opening and that Mug was being talked to, you can sort of decipher that perhaps it wasn't specifically the doors that Mug was talking to.
Like, as in he was talking to someone else? Or...
It was talking to someone that potentially couldn't be seen.
Yes, okay. So she'll kind of look at him, but also probably decide that this is not a conversation worth trying to talk to Mugs about. That's not gonna.
Haldir, you're still confused as hell.
Uh-huh.
But right
So,
now,
well, actually, I think Verity will turn to Silas and be like, "Were you there?"
yeah, and as you turn to him, he's muttering under his breath about the damn girl making Mug good at pistols. Took me decades to train, and he just bam, magical bullets.
Right. So
And
could
then he goes,
this girl have been, not been seen, and that might have been who Muggs was talking to?
well, the girl was there and also wasn't there. I'm not quite sure if she was fully alive when we met her.
Right. Have I heard about something like that?
Glenn,
You
if I didn't understand, didn't remember that correctly, just
nope.
correct me because I did that 19 thing.
Oh, good. You pretty much got it as
This is
far as
magic.
your knowledge.
Okay.
So Verity, from your knowledge, you're aware that that spirits can potentially link themselves to items or people, especially if the spirit belongs to a magic user themselves.
So I think maybe the doors were like someone was connected to the doors.
Either to the doors or to something on the ship, or maybe to a person.
Well, I don't know anything about the ship. I just know about doors.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything about ships, so
Yeah.
I'll
basically
just...
something around the people at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
well, it sounds a little bit like some kind of spirit.
Well,
I mean, spirits can attach to items or places or even other people.
wait.
Oh,
If...
so like a spirit of wind.
So you're saying
Probably,
what's
yeah.
a spirit?
so
I
you're
Well,
have a lot
saying
of
the spirit
spirit.
is attached
you
to
have a lot of spirit. Well, you have
Yeah.
one spirit. Well, actually,
But
you
I have a
probably
lot
have
of
a
spirit.
little bit of a damaged spirit, but that's
So you're saying that this spirit might have attached to Mug, and that's why Mug is suddenly good with magical pistols and such.
No, I already have spirit.
Possibly if they were connected somehow. That's
Well,
not
that would
impossible.
explain the.
That
Was
would
it
explain
fire
that
that
sudden knowledge about something. Yes.
Glenn, was it the wave of fire that came from the girl above Mug
Yep.
when we fought the copies?
Yes, it was.
Silas will just go, so that explains the fire that came from the girl that came out of Mug.
I mean, I haven't seen a lot of spirits, but that sounds like it could be, yeah.
It's when we fought the doubles Mug. There was the
Yeah.
girl. She showed above you, and then the fire. Remember?
Yeah, the girl. Yeah, she was. What? Oh, what was she? A magical girl? Is that what you're saying? That she was a magical girl?
She may have been the magical doors, basically.
Wait, she was a magical door all along, and she pretended to be a girl.
No, it's the other
Oh
way
man,
around.
and I.
It's the other way around. The magical door
What?
pretended to be a magical door, but actually was a magical girl.
I don't get this.
Well, not exactly. It's more the spirit might have pretended to be the door. Oh.
I don't get this spirit talk. That was a girl, and like she was a bit funny because I could see through her, right? But was that it? But you know, she was still a girl. Or was she glowing? Or did Glenn? Was she glowing? Or did we see through her? Or
She would have been transparent to see through,
okay, so she was see
but
through.
you were
Yeah.
seeing her during day, so you wouldn't really know if glowing or not.
Yeah, so you know, she was a bit paler than most people, and I could see the wall behind her. But you know, I don't judge people on their color.
I mean that's pretty common. They generally are not. Can't. Well, they're also usually in sub like incorporeal.
So why were you guys actually on that ship then?
So
Yeah, how did you come across this?
so we were flying towards towards like our next destination, and then there was the ship with absolutely no crew. So obviously we went to investigate and see if we could help the poor souls, or liberate their
Or
goods maybe.
if there was a fight as well, we wanted to see if there was a good fight.
Do you want to liberate their goods?
We wanted to liberate the good fight.
Mm-hmm.
And
And when you came onto the ship, you found this girl or
yeah, and
the magical doors.
also Glenn, help me if I remember this correct, because that monster always has confused me a bit.
Yep.
Was that a skeleton monster, like built from human skeletons, or was it just human remains?
It
with,
was
like,
human
corpses?
remains, so basically they had been pinned to the engine room in a arcane sort of form, and then they turned themselves into a giant amalgamation monster.
Okay, so Silas just goes. So there were these human body parts in one of the rooms, the engine room, and like then magic made them like attack us.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that
Do
that
I
that
know
was
anything about that?
that was a fun ship.
um,
That
whatever has been described, it sounds like extremely dark magic that you probably wouldn't have been taught and would probably get you in a world of trouble back home.
Oh yeah, I'm not talking about knowing how to do it. I'm talking about knowing about it, like warning tales and stuff like that.
Can I get you to quickly roll a intelligence history if you've got that? Roll it at
Straight up
advantage.
intelligence it is.
Yeah, roll it with advantage.
How do I do that?
Just roll twice and take the
Okay.
highest amount. Um,
Okay, 15.
15? Yep.
15. Yep.
It takes you a little bit, but you sort of remember stories from some of the early history of your country, and that there were wars with a neighboring nation, or at least not a direct neighbor, but on the same continent.
Yep.
That used a lot of dark magics and would have the dead come and fight for them. They're sort of used as the boogeyman
Yeah.
in your
That-
culture, but you have heard of them like summoning giant monstrosities of the remains of enemies that get turned into giant monsters, kind of thing.
I assume, like, at least from what I heard, we won that war.
At least you didn't lose it.
Yep.
You're not certain if it was a win or a loss. At the very least, like the priest would always spin it as a win, and they're the bad guys, kind of thing. But you're not.
Oh
certain
yeah.
of the- like,
No, I wasn't talking about what actually happened.
Yeah.
From my perspective, we won that war.
Yeah, from your perspective, yes, you would have been the winners.
That's really, really dark, evil magic. But do I know what country it was
Yeah,
that we're talking about?
Vhajiri.
Yeah, like the heathens from Vhajiri sometimes use it, or well, they use it a lot. But still, to this day, do you know if the ship could have been from there?
How would we know if a ship was from there?
Silas?
So
Well,
just
does it
because-
have a flag like this that she'll like describe a flag or any like known things that she knows about it, which is probably not 100% accurate, but that's fine.
Glenn,
Yep.
I did mention taking the flags from all of the ships we encountered ever since we left the Port Marley the first time.
Yep. So you actually have a flag from Ginnereth.
And that's from this ship?
Yes, and you also read at least part of the journal that the captain had had.
Yeah, it mentioned something about Ginnereth as well, right?
Yes, it mentioned that the ship belonged to the ambassador from Ginnereth.
I'll just go. This ship, it wasn't from them. It was from Ginnereth, or at least an ambassador.
Right. Do
Wait,
I know
an
where
ambassador from
Ginnereth is?
Ginnereth?
Yeah.
Do I know anything about this?
What I'll
Some-
say, you've
some
probably
sto-
heard stories of the fact that before you left, something was getting hushed up. You know that an ambassador had left to go south. You don't know where, but it seems like they never made it, and that there was a lot of hushed up stuff going on amongst the nobility and the military, but you have no idea what they were doing.
You know, Silas, I'm pretty sure I know some people in Ginnereth that would very much like to at least hear about that trip you had.
Well, we might have to pay them a visit. If you could, of
Oh,
course, convince them to make it worth our while. It's
Where is
quite a
Ginnereth?
trip.
Yes, see, that's probably the problem. I'm actually getting to talk with them, and I kind of left Ginnereth to see the world, so
Oh,
I don't know.
do you also have?
If we still buy, we might stop there and inform them or something.
Wait, Haldir, do you also have people in Guinea where they are hunting you down, hunting your head down? Is that where you left?
No, I'm I am not a wanted man in Ginnereth. No.
Silas
Do
looks
they
away.
also use forbidden magics? Do they also is it common to summon dead things?
Summon dead things? Not as I've been taught at the academy.
She kind of nods to herself, like, "Yep, that's okay."
Silas still looks awkwardly away because, like, wanted man was mentioned. He's just staring off towards the stars for a bit and just like taking some more of his drink, refilling his tankard.
No one
Oh,
here knows anything about being wanted for anything. Yep.
And Silas just looks at Mug like, shh.
But wait, actually, Silas, why does your dad wants to kill you?
Yeah, we never heard about that, Silas. You gotta spill the beans.
Well, he's not really my real dad, but he wants me dead because he has a son of his own now, and he kind of doesn't want me to get in control of the family house. And
But whether or not you're his real son shouldn't matter, right?
well, for the noble houses, it's more than just a little bit important.
How does the noble houses generally work?
So he's trying to kill you because he got a younger and better son.
Well, I
Well-
wouldn't necessarily say better. I mean, fuck
mean-
him, but
Better is a subjective term, right? So better from his perspective, or
yeah,
Well,
he considers it to be a more pure son, and therefore it's more worthy of House Begatal.
wait, are you
Right.
dirty? Sorry though.
Well, not according to my father.
you are not dirty according to your father, or you
Oh,
are
oh.
dirty.
I heard worthy.
Oh,
So this goes,
It
I'm
was
not
dirty.
worthy according to my father, so I guess you could say he considers me dirty. But I
But-
mean, I showered like 4 days ago, I think.
But couldn't
Wow,
he?
you
Couldn't he
shower.
just disown and exile you, and
Well,
now
that-
you're
that-
out here doing your own thing anyway?
So his plan was to to get me murdered, and then my mother was like, no, because see, she is my actual mother, and she gave me a helmet that I needed to use to find my real dad, I guess, and then that way I could clear my name and like basically go on my own adventures. But I
So
guess Dad
so you
didn't
did
like
that, or did you just skip that whole part of finding your dad and just go on
I'm-
adventures?
I'm still on my way to finding my dad, but I have no clue where to start looking. And you know, it's a big world. And Silas just pulls out this helmet, which is like do I have a picture still? It's a steampunk version of one of those Spartan helmets with like a big skull painted across the faceplate.
Well, that is definitely a helmet. I'm not sure what half of those things on it does, but it's a helmet.
Oh, so that's what a helmet looks like. That's nice.
You never used a helmet mug?
Well, I know what a helmet is. You put it on your head and it protects you.
Mm-hmm. That. Well, I guess they couldn't let you have a helmet on in pit fights.
Well, I guess the problem is if you put on a helmet, they can't see your face as you are in pain as you fight, and that's not good.
And as your brain is not completely out of it.
sounds rather barbaric.
Well, I mean, people had fun. I have fun doing it.
All right.
Like, Silas, I still don't understand why he's still trying to kill you. Like,
Oh, that's
your mother said no, so couldn't he just have disowned you there and everything would have been dandy?
no, because I still am technically the heir to House Begatal.
But why
So,
can't he just disown you, or is this not how this works? I don't.
Well, I honestly didn't pay enough attention in classes for that, but as far as I'm aware, he wants me dead. Well, at first it was just because I was impure as a son, and then it may have also been that I sent the head of one of his ambassadors to his house during one of the big feasts.
Why would you do such a thing?
Well,
Why in the world would you do such a thing?
he had contracted a murder on me. So obviously I declared war.
The ambassador had?
No, yes, in order of my dad. And then we had to kill the ambassador anyway and free the slaves that he had. So I thought, you know what, 2 birds, 1 stone. I'll just declare war.
Verity will like look over at Haldir with this kind of scared, kind of like.
Haldir is also looking a bit off by this development. Like, well, now I at least know why those people came after us when I joined up.
I mean, the good part is that I'm a better shot than any
Yeah.
of my father's guard anyway, so.
So far, you have been mostly better, but like the last people were actually quite good.
See, and that's why we have a worthy crew with, you know, the strongest fighter I know of. And he just points at Mug and then goes,
Yeah.
and you know, people I can trust. And he just waves around in a general you guys motion.
Yeah, we will totally save you, Silas. If you're not a bastard, but you're a bastard.
So you're not going to save me because I'm a bastard?
I was trying to say something clever, but it didn't work.
Silas just laughs and just pours another tankard for Mug.
Verity just looks very uncomfortable by this entire thing. This is not.
Uh-huh.
This is not how people work. This is not. Normal people do not work like this. And her view of normal is pretty fucking screwed up. But
Silas looks at her again and just pours her a tankard of ale as well and goes, "Here you go. That should help."
she's just not touching that ale thing. Like she looks at it like it's actual poison now. Like she was kind of uncomfortable about it when you went to the tavern, but now she looks like absolutely not. If this is how I end up like you guys, absolutely not.
Haldir takes the mug from her, the tankard, not the mug.
Not the mug. I would like to see that.
Don't take the mug from her.
Haldir takes the tankard, takes a drink. So, Verity, where you were from the south, right?
Yes.
Well, how is the south?
Southy?
Well,
She still looks kind of like out of it. I mean, different. Didn't have a lot of noble families. It's not really. Well, they're aspectists, but not really.
if you don't want to talk about it, it's fine.
No, it's fine. I don't know where to start or what to say.
Well, where did you learn your magics?
Well, like you, I went to well, technically an academy, I guess.
And they taught you that it's through what? It seems like you're doing some kind of prayer?
Well, yeah, all let me just get my sheet. I got like 2 pages of information from the GM about this.
You did want the religious one, so.
I did. I just like I cannot remember the name, and I'm like staring at the thing, and then it's just like blocks of text.
For the country.
No. I know what this country's name is. What was the name of our god?
Oh, right. Let me scroll right down myself. Cathos or
Bob. His name
Cathos.
was Bob.
Cathos, yeah. So, well, all magic comes from Cathos. You're either blessed with it or you're not, and then you train. You train to get better at it. Well, all our magic. I guess other people also have magic, like the corrupted magic that the Vudrian have. A lot of people take this gift and they twist it.
So you're telling me my magic is from some god called
Cathos,
Cathos?
yes.
And
May his light shine on you.
What's the god?
how does that work? Because if he hasn't heard of Cathos, how does he have access to the magic?
Well, it doesn't really matter if you've heard of him. That doesn't change whether or not he would give you a gift. It's like you've never heard of your dad, right? Or you've never met him. Doesn't mean that he couldn't send you a gift, possibly.
Oh, am I going to get a gift from my dad?
Theoretically possible, Mugs.
But how would I know it was from my dad?
Well, maybe he'd sign it with your dad on it.
Will you be able to read it to me?
Sure. I could do
Oh,
that.
I'm really looking forward to it now. I hope it arrives soon.
Well, I don't know if you will get one from me. That was a theoretical question, Mugs. Like, it doesn't...
A theoretic.
Yeah, it means it
Call.
might happen, and it might not happen.
I don't get that.
Yeah, it's a maybe.
Okay, but I'm really looking forward to maybe getting a gift from my father.
Right.
Who is your father?
I don't know.
I'm gonna look very sympathetically at Verity and just go, uh-oh.
Well, I didn't promise anything. Well,
No,
the likelihood
uh,
of you getting a gift, just like most people don't have magic, so the likelihood of getting this gift is not very high, but it could happen. It's my point was it doesn't matter if you know Cathos or not. On whether or not you would get the gift. It's just like trying to explain, and it's not.
So you're telling me that some god figure decides who
Pathos.
gets magic?
Well, yes.
Oh, wait.
Well, Cathos is doing a shit job at picking people for it.
She looks at you like you've grown 3 fucking heads.
Wait a moment. So our gods are like your father's?
Well, yeah, kind of.
So do you think a god could be my father?
Well, you can have more than one father. You can have a spiritual father and a physical father. So yeah, Kathos could be your spiritual father if you let him.
Oh, I hope my dad is a god.
Verity is like trying to like, how do I explain this to Muggs? Because this Muggs is like just trying to not like think like he is so fucking stupid, but she's definitely thinking he's so fucking stupid.
Because if my dad is a god, I'm sure he will give me a gift. For sure, right?
That depends. We all have different challenges that we face. And some of us that is magic and learning to master it so that we don't destroy ourselves. And for others, it's more physical or it's
Maybe the
social
gift he
or
gave you was being
strength
able to be on this ship and have a drink.
and fighting. Your
Well,
ability to
I
fight.
mean, I don't know. I don't really remember my father giving me. Well, I don't remember my father, so
No, this
I
would
don't
be
know.
when you were born, Mugs.
I don't
So-
remember being born.
Exactly.
Do you remember
So-
being
so-
born?
No, but that's when you get some of your gifts. So
Well, then I think I've lost it already.
no, since you're good at fighting, right? So your ability to fight, like the core of it, could have been a gift.
What are you saying? I trained very hard to be this good at fighting.
Yes, and I tried very hard to be this good at magic. But it
No,
wouldn't have been possible if the core wasn't there already.
But wait, Haldir, you don't like your father?
Wait, do you like
My
not
my
like your
my
father?
my father is a wonderful man. I'm not sure I like this Cathus guy if he should be the one that have decided who to give magic.
Well, it's more complicated than that. But
Oh, I'm sure it is. I'm just saying that if you say that he's doing it, I'm saying he's doing a piss poor job of doing it.
But why do you not like magic?
are you unhappy that you have magic?
No, I'm very unhappy with some of the people he picked to have magic.
Well,
All
everyone
those
gets
fucking
different.
bastards.
What did they do to you?
Being a bunch of idiots and snobs and Silas, I'm gonna take that tankard off you.
I'm gonna hand
Just
one of the tankards just immediately off to Haldir.
Yeah, drink, Haldir.
We like to drink with Haldir.
I'll just-
Where's Wisp in all this? Like, is she there or is she somewhere else?
She's just
I'll let Wisp
She-
cover this.
she's just been busy doing whatever.
So,
Not that you seem to have noticed.
to your knowledge, she's not actually been on deck at this stage.
Aww.
I mean, Verity can't really well move, so
Haldir and Verity have just been making sure the ship has actually sailed.
So I'd say by this time it's been a reasonable amount of time, and the twins come back up and say, "Our shift now, so you're free to do whatever you want you to."
Great.
And they'll take the
Let's
wheel.
talk about something different, eh?
well, I still want to know what happened to you. Are you
A
are
lot
you
of
okay?
people who have magic are not good people. And so, your god is very bad at picking people to get magic. And
I
Haldir
mean, that's an oversimplification, but
Here.
we're
and
everyone's
Haldir just
people,
starts
everyone's
walking
flawed.
off.
Verity looks after him a little, but and then she like takes it in herself and like kind of like pinches herself and she says, "Haldir, I'm sorry. I didn't think. Are you okay? I can stop."
Just gives a wave. I'm gonna go practice a new song.
Wait, what's the problem now, Haldir?
Nothing. Do you want to hear me practice?
Of course I want to practice a lot.
Okay. I'll be in my room.
Okay, I will go and hear you.
Haldir walks down to his room.
I think
Mug is going
then
with a lot of alcohol.
Verity will probably search out Wisp to try and understand why Haldir took this so bad. Perfection.
So, Wisp, I'm presuming that you still, or at the very least, you're now in your quarters that you set up for the surgery.
Yeah, sure.
So, Verity, if you go below decks and ask about Wisp, one of the crew will eventually point you into the direction of a room that isn't set up for bunks anymore. It's now set up with table. There's like mixture of what looks to be chemical sets and tools, and instead of hammocks that the crew would normally be sleeping in, there's sort of very crude bed that has straps. It looks like it's designed to strap people down in turbulent times if needed. And it's secured firmly to the deck.
Probably doesn't look that dissimilar from places in the tower.
It wouldn't look too dissimilar to like the crude cot that would be pretty much common there.
So she'll knock on the door and be like, "Hello?
Hello.
How are you? Are you okay? How are you holding up? We didn't see you at the party."
Wait, what? That's happened already? What is it?
She'll like say the time, I guess. Well, the party's pretty much over. People are.
Wait, they drank without me, is what you're saying?
Well, you weren't there.
Jeez.
Everybody's mad today. Right.
Sorry, was there something you want to talk about? Or just making sure I'm still alive?
Okay, I think maybe there's some more some more of the alcohol up on deck or somewhere if you
The
needed it.
alcohol. What a waste word it.
Well, I mean that's what you wanted to drink, wasn't it?
Yes.
Right.
Are you okay? Or is there a reason you're in the medic that you need a
Oh,
checkup?
is
Are you
this
hurt?
this is the yep. No, I'm fine. It's it was more.
Yes.
What do people here believe in?
Can you be more specific?
Beer, probably.
Beer.
Simon used his pistol.
I mean, how do you think life came to be? How do people get magic?
How life came to be. You know.
First, that was a cannon.
When a mommy and a daddy loves each other very much.
Yep,
Ether can answer that question a lot better than I can.
so basic
Yeah.
biology is also included in the job as the medic. You also hand out contraception to crew members.
Oh god.
Oh.
Are you okay?
I'm from, yeah? You have parents, yes?
Well, yes.
Uh-huh.
I'm pretty sure they're not the creation of humans or people, but okay.
Well, the reason you're here,
Verity looks very confused at you. Like
um,
there is no help. And die. Yeah.
yeah, yes, they believe in stuff. Any other queries?
You didn't really really answer. I mean, that's fine if you don't want to, but like
But
you have to have a reason for why people are, right? Like how did humans exist or elves exist? What? How did the world come to be?
Evolution? You're probably going to have to look up in a library book or something. I can't help you with how the world came to be. I just exist. We all just exist.
So you don't have any you don't have any gods or any?
Well, I've heard of gods. I don't necessarily
You're cutting out a
were
lot.
a thing that people talked about. I thought they were talking like about some family members. Not that I know what that is.
You don't know what a family member is.
Mm-mm.
Why? I mean, you have parents, I assume.
Not that I remember.
No, but you have them, so you
Do
understand. Well, that's everyone has parents, right? Wasn't that what you just said?
Ooh. Assumptions.
If I had parents, I would know who they were, surely.
I mean, they can have been parents only in body.
Huh?
Oh boy, we're talking like the paradigms for how the world works is so different between these two characters that it's just oh boy. I mean, I tried to talk to Haldir and I mentioned Kathas and then he got really mad, and I don't understand why.
I don't know who that is here. Is that your father or mother or the parent?
Well, kind of. Kathas is the creator, in many ways.
So your mother.
No, he's a god.
Oh, so your father. Oh, so that's what you call your father in your place. God. So what do you call your mother?
Well, no, you have again, you have the bodily father, which for me is a human. His name is Stout. But in spirit, we all have a father. The father who gives us our gifts, like my gift of magic.
Aren't they? I think you're talking about things you just learn or are good at.
Well,
because we were just given it, then anyone could just have it, couldn't they?
Well, only some people get it.
Why though? And where do they get it from? Where do you meet this God, Spirit, Father thing? I would like to have a good talk with him.
Like you can see Verity getting like frustrated and like, oh no, she's gonna get mad too. It's not like you don't meet him. Well, if you're the Primarch, you could, I guess. But normal people don't get to meet him.
Then he's not a very good dead then, is he? Even if he is a ghost.
Well, he's kind of, he will always be with you, but not. Oh boy.
What? Always. Like,
well, always, yeah, and that's why you.
Verity, do you need help? That's not normal.
So funny. Like, how do you explain religion to someone who just doesn't have a concept of what religion is?
You don't.
You're on a pirate ship. Why are you?
I know, but it's like, how the fuck do you explain it to like? Well, it's like your spirit, right? Like how you have your personality.
I've seen ghosts before, and they never gave gifts of magic.
Yeah. Well, it's more deity or a higher power that can grant and take away things depending on how you act. It's like a kind of a judge.
A judge ghost that you have.
Well, everyone has. It's
Well,
not.
then where have they been in my life? Leave me to fend for myself.
Well, you're still alive and you're here. There's a reason for that.
On the ship.
Uh-huh.
Where are they? I want to talk to them right now.
Well, there are different ways of doing that. If you want to, you could. You
Right
can
now,
join
so
the
I can
morning ceremony,
Oh no,
and you can talk to him.
I don't do mornings.
Well, that. I mean, you could also do it during when the moon is as strong as it can be, not necessarily full moon, but just like the highest point during the night.
I mean, apparently it's nighttime now, so I don't see what's the point in waiting. Let's go talk to this ghost father of yours.
Oh, okay. Let's go, and she'll like lead you on top, and like basically start showing you some like yoga exercises, almost, where she like try to help you connect with your inner self and the reflection of light. It's harder during the night, she'll point out, but it's oh boy.
This is how people communicate with their
Well, that's how we communicate with Cathus. Well, he can also appear. I've never seen him, but he can appear. I know the High Primarch has.
Primarch.
Well,
Is that the
boy,
mother?
that's. Well, kind of.
Okay.
It's
You're starting to understand.
yeah, kind of. It's she's the. Let me just say that it was a female. Did we have? Was there a name for High Primarch?
Did I have that in there? Yes. But it's with the country stuff, so scrolling back up. Because I've written a ton of notes for you guys. That's in between. Here we go. Oh, actually, no, I hadn't put a name on it.
Okay, perfect. It's now a lady.
Go for it.
Well, she's the head of the kingdom, so she's
Kingdom.
everyone's. Well, not kingdom. Well, our country. So it's
Country.
it's. Well, you know what a country is. She looks kind of desperate.
It's a country.
Well, yeah.
Oh.
So she's head of the country. So in that way, she's
Which
everyone in the
country?
country's mom. Well, I'm
You don't
I'm
seem
from
to know about your parents.
I'm from doing Glel.
Hmm.
Well, I know lots about my mom and dad. If those are the ones you're looking for, they run.
Sets of parents. Apparently, two ghost parents, and
That's my point. My original question was, why do you think Haldir got mad at me for saying that that's where magic comes from? And what do you believe? How does that work here? I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just.
well, maybe he doesn't have parents, and that's why he's mad. People get touchy on that stuff, you know.
Well, I haven't seen my parents since I was 7 either, but I know they're out there. Though, when do people get taken from their parents here, or is that
Oh,
not a
sweetie.
thing? Like, she just generally looks very confused about how this works, and I'm sorry, I feel like I'm now like taking over the session. So
It's all good.
Fine.
It's
No, it's
all
good.
I am absolutely enjoying this conversation. So,
Mhm.
Great.
and I mean, Silas will shoehorn himself back in a bit because you're going topside
Yeah.
anyway, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think we're on our way. We are topside right now.
Oh, in that case, Silas is probably within like sight of or something as well.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
probably hear the conversation about talking about this.
Silas,
So-
you've probably done a bit of work on your current project, and at some point after trying to judge how far you've made progress, you've looked up and you've seen like the episode of her Verity showing Whisp like the different poses and
I probably show up at some point, like during an awkward pose or something, where just Silas just suddenly goes, "Aloha."
You drank without me. How dare you?
Well, we couldn't find you. There's
What do
still
you
drink here.
And someone tells me you weren't looking for me either.
Well, the thing is, there was
Well, he
this,
wasn't.
there was this
Yeah.
fight. There was this massive fight on the ship, and I couldn't leave because I was afraid that Mug would murder everybody.
That's never been an issue for you before.
That's true, but it was now because you weren't around to solve it. Normally, you are the one making sure that people don't die.
No. That's the position you put on me. I never agreed to it until you actually got your blood problem solved.
Do you want to
You know,
drink?
You promised me an entire cast of.
Oh yes, of course. I'll have one delivered to your room soon.
You have to do it personally, though.
Okay. But then no expert for the blood.
can I try some?
Sorry, what was that you said?
Can I
No,
try
you do
some?
it.
Oh, sorry.
I said, but then no expert for the blood thing.
Oh no, you don't get that.
I have a feeling I'm not gonna win this. Fine, I'll deliver the cask to your room. And I'll still go to the expert for the blood thing. But I'd need you to come with me then.
Fair dues.
Because otherwise I might chicken out.
I was planning to end.
And then, Olea, you wanted to try something?
Oh no,
Oh yeah,
it's
sorry,
fine.
dear.
She kind of looks at the alcohol and like looks at you, and they're like,
Here
But-
you go.
did you ever? You said you didn't have parents, right? Did you always not have parents, or do you start? Because Silas was with his parents longer, and when do you get taken away, or do you get taken away? And if so, what does that depend on?
Get taken away from your parents? I mean, the only reason I got taken away is because my dad got a son.
Right. How old were you?
I
More
was
very stupid reason that OC I have not confirmed yet, so
Well, for us, it like where I come from, it depends. Like it depends on if you, for example, if you show signs of magic, you get taken away so you can learn magic. Or if not, you get taken away when you're a little bit older, and they test you to see what your virtue is, and then they give you a job based on your virtue.
I not. But now that you're older, would you not go back to see your parents if you could?
Oh no. If you have magic, you get taken to one of the towers, and then it's kind of like an academy, like Haldir talked about, and you learn magic, and you stay there, and you can sometimes you can become an oracle.
They kept you prisoner because you had magic.
Well, not really a prison though. It's school.
Just because you're into something doesn't mean that it's freedom of movement, particularly if you didn't have the choice in going there in the first place.
Well, if not, you can become a danger to yourself and others.
Sorry.
That's how magic works. If you let a 6-year-old or a 7-year-old run around with magic, they can hurt themselves, or worse, they can hurt their families or friends. I don't.
Isn't it
Wanna
up
do
to the
that.
parents to keep a child safe?
Well, my parents aren't magic.
And were they
They
the ones
were-
who gave you up willingly?
Well, everyone. Like, it's not. They didn't give me up. It's when they discovered that I had a
So
gift.
you were
You. Well, it's not really taken. I guess I used the wrong word. You get assigned.
it was still against your parents' will and your own. And even
Well,
now you haven't gone back to see them, even though you have a better control of your magic.
Well, that's
That
because
seems very odd to me.
you stay in the tower because you are there to serve
Then
the
why
High
aren't you there
Primarch
now
and
then?
to
If
Kathos.
you're so bent on being on this tower thing. And
I
look where you
might
are.
have. I.
Wisp, I think it's a gold thing.
No shit.
That's actually Silas, by the way.
Oh, okay. Well, it's not. Glyn, thank you. I hate you, but also yes.
I felt it was highly appropriate. And for the benefit of anyone listening back on this, it's just a gif of someone digging a giant hole.
Well, you're there and you're supposed to serve. Like you're serving Kathos and you're
No.
finding your virtue and your
No, look,
purpose.
And you
normally
just done
get
that
the
because of what you were
fancy.
told.
Well, doesn't everybody do?
No.
Well, I mean,
No, I mean,
where
I had the fancy room and servants. Why would I serve?
I am not your servant.
No, I had that. I had that before I left home.
I mean, where I come from, everyone serves everyone. It's just in different positions, right? So right now you're serving as the captain, so you're still serving. It's just what you're suited to and what your capabilities and gifts are. So
He
you
chose
get
to be here.
Brightly. Silas beams brightly at mentioning that this is where his capabilities are.
She doesn't know fucking better. What did Wisp say?
He chose to be here. He could leave tomorrow if he wanted, once we're on the ground. Preferably.
Well, I mean, I did bad.
Why? I mean, you seem very set on this idea of serving the tower and the ghost parents or whatever.
No, not ghosts. Primarch is very much alive, and Kathos is a god, not a ghost. It's not so much. I did a bad thing, and when people do bad things, and sometimes they disappear.
You're very much here.
I mean, in the subtle way of disappearing, or it's
So you left because you did a bad thing.
yeah, kind of.
Please, definition of a bad thing. I don't say drinking alcohol.
To that, I use my tankard and chug.
I took something I shouldn't have. Well, I found it.
Oh, well, you're fighting right here, there. Are we still talking in like that yoga pose?
I mean, probably not anymore. On the scale of saint to Silas and Mug. I found a book that was left in the library. Yeah.
So,
That's how I knew about the key.
So if it was worth anything, then why would they leave it out? I mean,
Well, I don't know if it's worth, but it contained
Why
things
did you
that I
feel?
wasn't supposed to know, I guess.
But then why not just pretend that you didn't know anything
Well, they found out
to
I
someone about it?
had it. Well, they suspect us as much, and
They
more of a.
got rid of you, didn't they?
Hmm?
Did they try to get rid of you?
Well, kind of.
So you're on the run, is what you're saying.
She looks like very uncomfortable, and gives you like a slight nod.
I see. You and Edric have a lot more. Well,
What did you say? You keep cutting out a lot.
what was it? I think it was you and Edric have a lot more in common than you think.
Maybe. Yeah. Like out of game, Edric and Silas is the same person, right?
Yep.
Sorry. Confused with Edric rather than Silas. Or Silas, or however you pronounce it.
I'm back. So yes, Silas and Edric.
Welcome back. We have a lot in common, apparently.
Ah, wait, what? I am very curious. Could I get the crash course?
Basically, Verity is running away from being killed.
Ah! We'll be fast friends. I mean, I can save you from your assassins, and you can save me from mine.
I highly doubt they would send assassins here. Well,
Verity, if this book is as valuable as I think you need to learn seriously how to be able to protect yourself.
well, I already know some protection magic.
And what if they bound your hands or take away your little magic off thing?
Silas just looks around, thinking to himself, and then goes, "We have swords, knives, axes, pistols, rifles, spears. Which one would you prefer?"
I don't know. I haven't really used many of them before.
Here, try this
Or
one. And he
really
just hands
any
you a
of them.
pistol. Silas goes, "Here, try this one," and he just hands a pistol.
Okay.
And then he puts an empty tankard on the railing and just
Right.
goes, "Shoot that."
What kind of roll is that?
Accuracy to hit.
Yeah.
Now,
To try and hit, that's 3d6 plus your accuracy.
but there will be a
that's it.
penalty because of the lack of training.
So that would be
Right.
plus accuracy -2.
Right.
Right?
Off the top of my head, yes.
So with the -2 is 12.
I'd say you'd still manage to nick it with that.
Wow, look at you. That's not a bad shot. Especially not for your first time.
Well, it's
Yeah, not bad, kid.
pretty similar to, and like she'll do an arcane blast at it. Just gonna be actually absolutely horrible because I can't roll dice. So I think I actually did better with the pistol. Like she's probably so enthusiastic about the fact that she managed to hit it that she's like, "Oh, it's pretty similar to this," and then just kind of, well, I mean it's 11.
Yeah,
But I rolled two ones and a 3.
you still managed to nick it with the arcane blast as well. So like basically the tankard sort of spins one way and then it gets hit by the other on the other side and spins the opposite way and then sort of hits the deck.
So that doesn't really help me if my hands are tied.
Huh.
Then I might as well use the blast, right? Don't
Yeah.
really need
Huh.
a pistol for that.
Okay,
the pistol
in
is
that
pretty
case-
cool though. How does it work? Do you know how this works?
Well, I built this one, and he pulls out one of his own pistols that he built.
That is really cool. How does it? You have a lot of doodads on it.
Yep, I spent most of my time making this one pretty and good. Started out as a simple blowgun.
Can I try it?
Yeah, of course. Be careful with her though.
I will try it.
This is sugar, and he hands one of the pistols.
Right. Is that also just an accuracy roll with a -2?
Yeah, it's pretty much an identical pistol.
Okay,
Except
wow.
this one is
Yeah,
handmade.
this is like confusing. So that's 7?
Yep, that misses wildly.
Yeah, I'm just
so
like
glad
mm.
Hmm?
She's like that was not as easy, I think.
This one is balanced a little bit differently. It makes sense. Look, here's her big brother, and I just put away the pistol and pull out my
Oh no.
arquebus,
Oh no.
which is basically a rifle.
Right. Is that
Oh.
also
Like,
accuracy?
Verity
Yeah.
alive?
This one has a scope though, so this one gives you a +2.
Yep, so you won't get the negative with this one.
Okay, nice. Well,
Don't crit fail, please. Don't blow up my rifle.
Oh, God.
well, that's a 20. So
Was that with 3
this one is
sixes?
skunk. No. I have a +4 accuracy.
Okay. I was about to say.
Ooh.
So the tanker gets set back up on the railing and you aim through the sight. And once you realize that it effectively, how it works and how it focuses on the target, you manage to nail the tanker dead through the center with it.
Well, that was a lot easier.
She really is like Edric.
Edric just laughs and then goes, so, I should probably introduce you to this one as well. This is Daddy.
Oh no.
Oh no.
For goodness sake. All of them? The entire family?
So
What
his
is-
weapons are 2 pistols named Sugar and Spice. And then there's also his rifle, which is called Daddy.
I think yeah, they probably have some fun like actually shooting and
Definitely.
doing things, and Verity looks a lot less stressed about it.
Wisp is drinking on the side.
What do you say, Wisp?
I'm drinking at the side.
At
I
some
think
point,
at some point Verity probably like when they start talking about like that she ran away basically, or that like she's on the run so it doesn't matter at some point, like she will try to drink. And probably like this is absolutely fucking disgusting because
she,
you
Start
know,
with
as a
wine.
person who's never drank alcohol before.
she sees us take big swigs, so she does that as well. And
Yeah, it's like try and look and be like I'm just imagining this going on for like long time of the night and she actually like sleeping in and missing the sunrise and gonna have like a minor
Yes.
panic attack about it.
So I will say that you've now been, up reasonably late by this stage. So some of those that have been partying have all gone to bed, and the shifts have changed, and those that are going to be working through the night are up and working.
Silas at some point starts singing that creepy song again about the Eldritch One, Jolene. Let me see if I can find the lyrics.
Oh boy.
So how long is Haldir going to be moping?
Haldir, I still feel bad, like both in and out of character. I'm like, oh no.
Mug, you've
Oh,
worked through probably a number of your tankers in the meantime as well.
yeah. Oh, Haldir did exactly what he said he was gonna do. He went down and started like playing some different tunes, and you can like starting a melody and then stopping and like no, that's not right, and then like do the same parts again and again and again. Like just to get the
Oh.
complete right sound. So like he went to practice because that discussion just didn't go anywhere. You're like, I'm done. I don't. I can't be bothered to discuss this.
You keep replaying the same thing. Finish the song. This is
Well,
getting boring, Haldir.
it doesn't sound completely right. So I want to make it perfect. So when I play for the entire crew or in the tavern, then it sounds perfect.
So you don't want to play perfect for me?
Of course I do, Mug. Here, I'll play this one, and then I go back to try the other one again, huh? And then he changes the tune to another one.
That sounds better now.
Almost done. I missed the last lines.
So, Mug,
Yeah.
you've been a lot of places fighting, huh?
Oh yeah. I'm a good fighter. Lots of practice.
Yeah. How come you ended up here then?
Well, well, the guy who owned me, he kind of died one day, and then yeah, and we had to kind of run away because the place was being attacked.
Kinda died.
Well, that's what they told me. The others told me that my owner died. So I guess I decided I needed to do something else, and and I guess I decided to do what they were doing because I didn't really know what to do. And I get to fight with them, so that's good. I don't really know what else to do than fight.
So the guy that owned you died, and then you just joined up with Silas and Whisp?
Yeah, and the other captain, the monkey.
The monkey?
That's
There's another ship, and that ship has a captain that's a monkey?
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, fur and everything?
And the tail as well.
A long tail he can use to grip things with.
Yeah, and he fights with it as well.
Fights with his tail, huh? Interesting. And why?
Yeah.
So there's two ships, and the other ship is captained by a monkey. Okay. Well,
I mean,
I'm not
he's always
surprised.
busy doing things. So he was not really supervising us.
Well, I can't. With what I've seen so far of the crew and how you guys all are, I can't really say I'm that surprised.
Yeah, but I think the monkey is a good captain as well, as far as I know about captains.
Oh, that's good.
I mean, all I know is him and Silas. These are the two captains I know.
And Silas just became a captain, right? Or has he been on this ship for a long time?
Well, we were on the other ship.
Ah, the
This
one
is
we
the-
sold.
No, not that one either.
The
No, the
overall
other
one.
one. The citrus.
The citrus. Is that the name of the ship where the monkey is the captain?
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Sorry. I'm just laughing at Mug. It's so stupid.
So when did you get this ship?
I mean, well, so you know that we got those manticore monsters in that city, right?
I did hear about the story with some manticores,
Yeah.
I think, yes.
Yeah. So that was with the citrus. We went there
Uh-huh.
and and helped out the villagers there, and we had a really good drink together, and we got the big pile of money as well. So that was good. And after that, I think oh yeah, so we spotted this ship, you know, the one that we sold. I think that was the one that was being attacked. So we attacked the attackers, and no, what's this ship captured? Was it another ship that we attacked before that? I think we just attacked two ships who were the bad people, and we got lots of money for it. So that's how we took this big ship. Oh, I don't really know.
I think
just-
I understand, Mug. I think I understand.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we just yeah.
Silas is a very new captain. So
Oh yeah, yeah.
Don't prepare a mutiny.
so you can't really say if the monkey or Silas is the better captain yet, huh?
No, I think I can say. I guess it depends what you want from a captain, because like the monkey just let us do whatever, and I guess Silas so far has let us do whatever as well. So they are equally good captains.
To be fair, Silas hosted a beer party.
Ah, that's true. Oh wait, Silas gave us booze. The monkey didn't give us booze. I prefer Cyrus.
Well,
But at the same time, Cyrus was also mean because he like killed me like 3 times. He stole my kills of myself. So
what? Silas
and we
killed
got
you
all the
3
money.
times
Well,
instead of
I was
letting
going to. No, I was
you
going to
kill
kill
you.
myself. Yeah. The other 3 myself. Yeah. And I was going to go in for the kill, and then Silas stole my kills.
Well, that sounds very rude.
Yeah, so that was rude.
Uh-huh.
But he does buy me drinks sometimes. Whatever. I guess I will prefer Silas for now. I do like the drink. And we got the shiny gold out of those me's anyway, so that's good.
Definitely. So
Yeah. And yeah.
do you like your hammock?
Oh, it's like very comfortable. Being in a bed now is like so different to sleeping on the floor.
You were sleeping on the floor before?
Yeah. Why do you think I would sleep? In a bed?
Well, yes. Weren't
Slaves
you?
don't sleep in beds.
But Mug, you ain't a slave, right? Your owner died, which means you're free, and then you just joined
Yeah,
up with
now.
Silas and Whisp and the monkey.
Yeah. Yeah. But I guess I just slept wherever there was space.
Well, now you at least have a bed. So So you don't need to sleep on the floor anymore.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. Thank you for that, Haldir. And how are you enjoying your new room? You like it?
So far, it's a very nice room, and I can practice without anyone else listening to the same thing over and over again. Except when you're here, Mark. Then you sadly have to listen to it.
It's okay. You know, the couple of times when you played a proper one, that was good.
I'm glad you think so, Mark.
But then what about you? Did you become an adventurer recently?
Yes, I was not very long ago. I actually just took a ship to uh, down to Port Mali, and then I got on a ship with you guys. So it's all very new to me. Instead of being up in Jinrath.
Yeah, but so what about you? Do you have a family?
Yeah, they're doing okay back home. But I haven't seen them for a while.
So you like your family? They're not trying to kill you.
No, no.
That's a
I,
new one.
I think that's more specific for Silas.
Yeah, and so since you have a family, do you miss them?
No, I'm sure they're fine. At some point, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna see them again. So right now, I just follow the wind, and the wind led me to you guys.
I mean, that's pretty nice that you know where your family is.
Yeah, it is. You don't know where your
Yeah,
family were, right?
no, but one day I want to find them.
Yeah, go out and find your family. That's a nice
Yeah,
goal.
yeah, I was told all we have to do is look in the records of Glenn. What was the place name?
The arena that was at the capital of the
Oh, of the
Shayak.
Shayag.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, so I got told that I can just go and ask someone to look in the books in the capital of the Shayak, and they will find out where I'm from, and then I can find my family. That should be easy, right?
Because of course we'll just walk into the enemy's camp.
Okay,
Ask them.
if we are ever in the capital of the Shayak and you somehow get the book, I will definitely look in it for you.
Oh, thank you, Haldir. So you will help me find my family. That's really nice of you.
Sure, Mark. But
Yeah,
only if we end up in that in the Shayak city.
yeah, I can't wait. I will tell Silas we must go there now. Let's go find him.
Well,
Let's tell
Mark,
him to go
right
there.
now, isn't there someone we're looking for?
Uh, is there?
Yes.
Who are we looking for?
The one that was Silas got a letter from?
Huh? Did Silas get a letter from someone?
We were all out in the city. Then there's apparently someone from the ship that was missing when we got back again. And she went to Fort
Oh,
Newhearth.
oh,
So
oh
we're
yeah,
looking
yeah,
for
yeah,
her.
yeah. But she might be at the capital of the Shayak. We should check there.
First, we're gonna check at the fort.
Ah, okay, but after that, the capital of Shire.
If we find her, you can talk to Silas about going there.
Um,
That's a good idea.
That's a well-worded promise. I'm not going to try and talk about it.
Should we go back and party together with the others now? You feeling better yet? Have a drink. Have two drinks.
Mog, you do know I get very drunk off these drinks, right?
Yes, of course. That's the fun part.
I'm pretty sure if I drink more, I'm gonna fall asleep.
I will take you up there.
Well, if I'm asleep, shouldn't I be here in my bed?
No, we should party with everyone. So don't worry about drinking. I will take you to bed.
Okay, Mog. Let's go. And Haldir just have like a small smile on his lips as he follows Mog out of the door again.
I think Silas is still trying to like make a little bit of a party at the deck with the few crew who are there. So he's just singing like dwarf and drinking songs and such.
Verity has like taken off the yellow sash thing that she was wearing, and she's now like trying to drink ale. Trying to like sing along and like let loose a little bit.
I don't think this might be the song for
Verity is
Verity,
actually drinking. Is Verity actually drinking the ale now?
Yeah, she's trying.
Oh
It-
wow.
Kind of. It's fine. She'll have an existential crisis in the morning.
But now she's enjoying herself.
Yeah, they just pointed out that people are looking to kill her, and then they're kind of bad people. So yeah, why shouldn't I do all of the things that I've been told my entire life that I shouldn't be doing? I am free now, kind of thing. And then just
as Verity is like drinking with us and like singing songs and that kind of stuff, Silas will at some point look at her and just go, "You know we got your back, right? When anyone would come for you, you're one of us now."
yeah,
Then he raises his tankard again and
she'll
goes,
raise it too.
"A toast."
Toast.
Oh, we having a toast? For what?
When she
Well,
sees
having
you,
you
like
coming
you can
back.
see that she goes like kind of quiet.
To having each other's back, to protecting each other and being here for each other.
Yeah, we have each other's back, and Mug just slaps Haldir's back.
Then Silas looks at Mug for a
Double
second
look
and
forward.
goes, "To fighting side by side."
Yeah, we fight together.
Always. And he just smashes his tankard into Mug's tankard and just downs it.
Yes. Cheers. Drink, drink, drink. And Mug is chugging it down as well.
Verity's
Oh.
probably getting absolutely shit-faced.
I definitely rather want to
Having
fight
zero-
with you than against you, Mug. And then he chugs as well.
Should we all roll for Constitution to see how that goes?
I'd say at this stage, yeah, you're starting to get into the Constitution drinking rolls.
Oh,
Is that drinking? Yes, right?
Yes,
yeah.
because
Say
those
that
of
as
you-
if that helps.
some of you are a little bit more practiced with alcohol than others.
Do I take any minuses for never having drunk before?
You know
Yeah.
what? I'll give you a -1 for your first time.
It's not terrible. It's 11.
It's Constitution. Yeah, I didn't roll very well on this one.
Haldir.
Haldir is a fucking lightweight.
Haldir, very true to
Wow.
form.
Yeah, no, he isn't.
Oh, Whisp is getting shit-faced!
Verity, the person who hasn't drunk
This
before, is like
is fine.
second best. It's fine.
So,
So Silas, the actual Silas, then the actual dwarf, and then the one who has never drunk before.
Silas, you've had a lot of practice drinking. So, yep, you're feeling a buzz, but you're still in control. Mug, you're drunk and happy, but you're doing okay. Verity, yep, you've been hit reasonably hard by this, so you are drunk.
This is
Haldir,
great.
you're slurring bad. Whisp, you were a shade from falling over, passing out.
I mean, it makes sense. She's been standing there drinking the entire time.
There was a reason why Haldir said, like, if I go up again, I'm gonna fall asleep. So, yeah.
This time it's Silas who actually helped bring people to bed.
So,
Novel idea.
Ooh,
by this
Haldir might
stage,
wake up in the brig.
it is extremely late at night. So, for those of you that are potentially already just passing out on deck, and if not managing to stagger down to somewhere to sleep, you can do so, unless there's anything else you want to do beforehand.
Mug has promised to take Haldir down if he's unable to.
Yeah, so Mug, you can do that.
I'd like to
Yeah.
bring. I'd like to like ask Verity to, if she could find her bedroom by herself.
I'll be fine. This is
Okay.
great. I feel amazing. Do you always feel like this? Is this why you're drinking?
Yeah.
This feels great. I want to feel like this all the time.
One advice: make sure you start drinking in the morning again.
Right. Do you have to
Maybe-
like keep
Yeah, you have to keep it up, or make sure that you drink plenty of water before you actually head to your hammock.
right, water. She'll probably actually drink some water since she's not shit-faced enough to not do so. Which will hopefully help with the hangover and
Silas is gonna try and help Wisp back to her room.
Yep.
He'll make a slight detour though to bring a cask of not the ale that's for sale,
Yep.
so not the massive barrels, but just a normal, more normal-sized cask of a stronger liquor that he can bring back to her surgeon room as well.
Yep.
So that she has something that she can also use to clean out wounds and as an anesthetic.
Yep. So
Anesthetic and disinfectant.
Yeah, that one.
you manage to grab one of those, and you do so.
Preferably the hardest liquor they have in store.
Yep, you manage to find a extraordinarily potent, not so much a cask, but it's like a couple of bottles of extremely strong whiskey. Silas, when you make it back to your own room, you will,
Yeah.
however, notice something's on your door.
Oh, what's on my door?
I'm going to actually grab the message. So there is a small pouch with chocolate in it.
Huh?
And a note attached that says, "Tell me how it tastes." Or, more to the point, it says, "Tell me what you think. W."
W?
Yep.
Huh? This is in character Silas as well, by the way.
Yep.
So he just holds 4 fingers in front of his face, going like, is this real? And then he takes the small pouch with chocolate.
Yep.
And he like takes a tiny nibble off of it. Like first he smells it, like checks if he sees anything weird about it.
Yep.
Does he see anything weird?
It looks like chocolate. You can do a perception smell if you really, really want.
So he probably thinks it smells like chocolate. So that's I believe if I math it correctly, that's an 8.
Yep, looks like chocolate, smells like chocolate. The nibble
Takes a
you
small
take
bite.
tastes like chocolate.
And with that, he just like takes the rest of the chocolate, wraps it neatly in the pouch,
Yep.
and just like tucks it away in a safe place.
Yep.
Then he opens the door, walks in, looks around to see if everything is still as he left it.
Can I get a constitution check out of you, by the way?
Uh-oh. Is that just Constitution?
Straight constitution.
15.
You start to feel a bit woozy.
Whoa.
Like, extremely woozy, as if almost like all that alcohol's kicked in all at once.
Whoa. And I guess with that, he just tries to like neatly fold his coat as much as it still works.
Yep.
And then he like face plants next to his hammock, probably.
Yep.
He did try to lock the door behind him, as he always does when he goes to sleep.
Yep. So I'm aware it's getting quite late, so I think what we'll do is we'll leave it there, and we will start
No.
next session first thing in the morning.
Oh boy.
Are you still going? Is Verity still going to go along with the bell?
I don't know. 'Cause
Anymore.
she's been drinking and she's been up way later than she usually is. So I'm like,
Well,
either she's gonna get up like on pure fucking reflex, because if you're not up in the morning, you're in trouble, or she's gonna actually, for the first time in I don't know how many years, actually sleep through the sunrise.
Could be that she wakes up
Ooh.
and just doesn't get out of bed because hungover as fuck.
I'm
I mean,
sick.
it might
I'm
depend.
sick.
What is this? Why
might
is this
depend on how
happening to
you
me?
roll.
Oh,
Hmm?
have you stopped the recording yet?
Not yet, so I'll get a yo-ho
Yeah.
from everyone.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yo ho!
Yo
Yo-ho.
ho.
Yo ho!
Yo-ho!